Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be answering two questions that are asked in almost every Q&A and almost every live stream, and they are: will you get a bearded dragon and will you get a snake? Now before I answer those two questions, there is something you should know about me. I put a lot of pressure on myself before getting any new pet to ensure that I'll be able to cope with another pet, be able to provide for it, and hopefully give it a long and happy life. To give you an idea, I had a lot of anxiety when I first got my first crested gecko. I was so worried I wouldn't be able to connect with it like I do with my leopard geckos. I debated for ages about getting giant isopods because I already had one colony. Could I deal with a second one? Like, I have a lot of anxiety around this. And it's not necessarily that I think I wouldn't cope. It's just I like the balance I have, and I like that I can interact with all my animals every day, and I do feel I have like quite a strong connection with each of my pets. Now some people can deal with 30, 40, 50 pets. That isn't me. As I said, I feel like I have quite a strong connection with each of my pets, and I'd hate to lose that. So when it comes to choosing a reptile, though I find so many so incredibly interesting and would love to handle them and care for them, not every reptile in reality would be best for me. And my space is fairly limited, so I have to be pretty strict on myself when choosing reptiles that I may want in the future. Like, personally, the last thing I want to do is see a reptile and think, oh, that looks cool, I can take that on, but in reality I don't have the time or space or knowledge that the animal truly deserves. I totally appreciate it takes a lot of self-discipline to go to a reptile shop and see amazing creatures and walk away with nothing, but some of these animals will live 10, 20, 30 years, so before buying any animal, in general anyway, no matter how long it lives, a lot of thought should be put into it. So with that all being said, the first question: will you get a bearded dragon? So the short answer is probably not. But I don't want to completely rule them out, because whenever I go to shops, I'm always drawn to the bearded dragons and Rankin's dragons, as they always seem to want to come out. They just seem like they're bursting with personality. I remember watching, I think it's a Dark Dens video of Despacito leaping around after his food. Like, they seem great and active and entertaining, but I can't say in this moment right now, I really, really want one. And in order for me to get like a reptile or any other pet, like, I really need to want it. So the lizards that have actually made my short list of ones I've wanted for a very long time and would hope to get in the future are gargoyle geckos, leeches, and a panther chameleon. So bearded dragons do have a fair bit to compete with, but as I said, I'm not going to totally completely rule them out. And the second question is, will you get a snake? Now here's the thing, I find snakes very interesting. Some are fairly cute. I weirdly find an emerald tree boa particularly interesting whenever I go into a shop. I don't know if it's because of their arboreal nature or their colouring. However, with the exception of a few tiny moments in time, I've never really had the desire to own a snake. Mainly because of one part of their care, and that's feeding them rodents or chicks. Now I know that not all snakes have them. Like, I know garter snakes can eat a range of things and not necessarily have to have mice or rat pups. However, a lot of them do. And I struggle with that. I don't know if it's because I've owned rodents. I still own rodents. I know my boyfriend in the future, he wants to have rats. I don't know if I'd feel uncomfortable owning a rat and knowing how intelligent and amazing they are whilst also feeding one. I know people do it, but in my mind it's really hard to deal with that. So that's always been a tricky thing for me. Even seeing a dead rodent in a cage in a shop about to be fed to the snake, it triggers a weird emotional response that I don't know if I could deal with on a daily, well, not obviously a daily basis, but on a regular basis. I think some people think I wouldn't want a snake because I'm scared of them. That seems to be like a thing people go straight to, but I'm not. Like, when I was 4 years old, I went up and stroked a boa constrictor, and I remember stroking a Burmese python at this reptile meet thing, and I've held a boa constrictor on my shoulders. There's a lot of boa constrictors here, but I don't fear snakes. I find them interesting, but this is one part of their care that I would struggle with. Another thing I find with snakes, and I may be completely wrong, I probably am, and this is probably down to my lack of experience and interaction with snakes, is I just don't see them having as much personality as lizards. I know. I feel like this is probably something a lot of snake owners hear a lot, and they're like, oh, hell no. And I feel like it might just be that I've owned lizards for like 12 years, and I feel like if you've only ever owned snakes for quite a long time, you might have a similar issue with lizards. You know, we like what we're familiar with. But like with my geckos, I can go to the tank, call them, they come to the front, crawl out on me, we hang out. Whereas I just don't see that happening as much with snakes. But as I said, I could be completely wrong. I will admit that sometimes I watch snake videos on here and I think they're really cute and I think, oh, it'd be cool to have one. But yeah, I guess those two main things are two things that kind of put me off getting a snake. Also, they'd have to compete with like leeches, gargoyles and a panther chameleon. So, you know, it would be a tricky one. Anyway, I hope this has cleared a few things up for you. Hopefully this hasn't insulted too many snakes. I would actually love to hear what you love in particular about owning snakes or about owning bearded dragons. Or maybe you agree with me, they've just never really appealed to you. But let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We recently hit 150,000 subscribers, which is insane. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye. Oh, don't go to the loo. Oh my goodness, it's in my hand. Oh my god, it's all coming out. Oh no. Oh, big downside to having a crested gecko. Oh my, it's still dripping. How much more do you have in you?